Yamaha YZF R3 was launched in India in mid-2015 at the Budh International Circuit. It promised a true R-Series experience while still being a motorcycle that can be used every day. Today we are joined by Navneet, who has owned the R3 for over a year now and has clocked over 16,000 kilometers on it. He uses it mostly for track riding and his office commute. Hey Navneet, it's great to have you here. How are you?
Hi Swati, I'm doing good, thank you, and it's great to be here as well.
Alright, so let's just get right into it. What made you choose the Yamaha R3 and how has the experience been so far?
I've been a fan of MotoGP since 1990, and that's when Wayne Rainey was racing for Yamaha, and his red and white Yamaha M1 was actually my childhood dream bike. So in 2005, when I got my first job, I got a chance to buy the RD350, which I took a personal loan. And then in 2007, when Yamaha released a track bike called the Yamaha YZF R3 version 1, I didn't have the money to buy it. So ultimately I had to wait till 2012 when they released the version 2. And I was fascinated by the red and white one, like my childhood dream bike coming through and stuff and all. And the looks was just out of the blocks, so not something we have seen on Indian roads especially. So when after buying that bike, I tried to upgrade it as much as I can. But how fast can a 150cc bike go, right? No matter what you put in it, it'll always be a 150. Then I was patiently waiting for Yamaha to launch something equivalent to the twin I already had. So in 2015, I think they were launching the R25 is what we initially heard. That's when I saw some reviews going around that they are going to launch the R25 in India, but eventually that bike didn't come. So finally, 2015 September is when I heard that they're going to launch the Yamaha R3. And I had got one of my best friends actually had booked the first bike ever in India. His name is Abhishek. So his bike had a PDI test at our Bangalore wheel showroom in Rajajinagar. So that guy, he woke me up in the early morning saying, I have my bike getting delivered today, why don't you come over and stuff and all. So I was actually very interested and I was excited to see the bike. We've been seeing it on TV from past 6 years saying that it's going to come, but it never had. So finally when it came, I got up, I went to the showroom and they were just starting to unload the bikes. The moment I thought I'm going to buy the bike is when they were doing the PDI test, and the service engineer who does the PDI test, he actually started the bike. And that was the moment, I just felt something, ringing in my heart, that weird connection is what you would say. And I'm like, okay, we're going to buy this bike. So eventually when the bike was launched, there were I think around 45 to 50 bookings at the showroom, and I had not paid any booking advance or anything of that sort. So the showroom owner, his name is Prabhu, and he's my very good friend, and he actually helped me buy the V2 as well in 2012. So when I went to him and I asked him, he said the first 35 bikes are booked and stuff and all. I was like, okay, and I came down and I was actually enchanted by the black color R3. In blue is something we've always seen with Yamaha. Black is, like the Dark Knight or something like that. So there was one bike which was, bubble wrapped and just unloaded off the lorry, and I was so fascinated by the black one that I just took the key out. I removed the seat. I took a pic of the chassis number, then I took a pic of the engine number. Then I went to the service department of the showroom. Then I checked the details of the chassis number. Then I told them to put the registration to my name. Then I went to Prabhu. I said, this is the bike I want. I want a black one, so I'll be taking it. He said, you'll have to wait for a couple of weeks at least and all stuff. I said, nothing doing. You'll get the money in 4 days. And it's not just the black bike. I'm giving you the chassis number. I WhatsApped him the chassis number. I said, this is the bike that I want. It is standing there. And I said that. I took the bike from the 3rd floor. I took it to the basement in the elevator. I parked it in the elevator. I locked the bike. I gave it the key to Prabhu. I said, this bike is done. I think 5 days later, I picked up the bike.
Okay.
And the overall experience, to be really honest, it is the best bike that I've ever bought till date. I mean, there was a lot of competition, you know, in the 300cc category at that time, but a twin from Yamaha, nothing, I wouldn't be settling for anything less than that, because I've seen enough single cylinders in my life. A parallel twin is what an upgrade that I've been actually waiting for about 10 years, and that's when I got the R3.
Well, Yamaha is known for their exceptional handling, braking and performance. So what's your take on that?
When Yamaha initially launched the R3, we were all expecting the legendary Delta box frame to be a part of it. But after seeing the specifications, the main thing that was missing, that was the Delta box frame. And I presume it could be, one of the reasons was that to reduce the costs of the bike. Because I mean, in India, for a twin cylinder bike, people paying around 4 lakhs is going to be, they're going to think not even twice more than that. So when I took it to track initially, when I did the running in period, even I was under the assumption that the handling is not going to be that great. But after doing a few laps on it, I must say it is one of the best handling bikes. Even comparing it to the track focus bikes that we currently have running in India, it handles way better than them. And the performance, I mean, there's nothing to say about the engine, but it's just flawless, you know. It's just butter smooth, the gear shifts, the twin cylinder, when you shift the RPMs at 11,000, 12,000, you know, that feel you get, that adrenaline rush is just amazing. Regarding the braking part, I would say Yamaha could have done a lot better because there's a lack of bite, especially at the front brakes. Me being a track focus guy, I hardly use the rear. I'm still running the first brake pads that I had got when I bought the bike. So that's, I've done about 16,000 kilometers and I think I have 2 front brake pad changes. So that's it. There, I would have preferred some more braking power and maybe some steel braided lines on it to help that. That's about it.
Okay, let's talk about maintenance now. What are the running and service costs of R3 and are the spare parts easily available?
So for the service cost, the major things that they're going to change is the engine oil and the oil filter. And Yamaha specifically mentions that you have to use the Yamaha lube, fully synthetic oil that they provide. And to be honest, I was really surprised at the cost of the oil because normally the fully synthetic oils that are in the market are around 800 and above. But this one from Yamaha is at 450 a liter, which actually, you know, kind of was shocking initially. Like maybe the dealer or the service guy put the bill wrong or something like that. But when I actually checked with them, it is 450 a liter. And the engine oil capacity is around 2.4 liters. So overall, your first service cost, including tax, would come up to 1800, which would include 1350 for the oil, 350 for the oil filter, and the general checkup what they normally do as a free service. Regarding the spare parts cost, to be frank, for a CKD bike, the parts are dead cheap. The left clip-on or the right clip-on actually costs around 3,500. And the brake lever is about 350, and the foot pedal is also about 350-400 rupees. And I had broken this part and this is 1,500 and this is 1,500. So if you actually see, the parts are the cost is way less rather than the competitors that we are currently having in the market. And yeah, the front brake pads is what I was telling about. The front ones cost about 3,850 or something, and the rear costs 1,800. But the metal parts are damn expensive. Recently, I think one of my friends crashed the bike, and the exhaust side, not the full system, just the slip-on cost about 30 grand. The metal parts are damn expensive, but the plastic ones and all are dead cheap. I mean, the front doom, the whole setup is around 10 grand or something like that. So that way, for a CKD bike, the parts are really good, cheap, and a lot less to maintain. And we all know about the durability and the beating a Yamaha can take. and in spite of all that, the parts are actually amazing. Usually when I do touring, that is when I ride to the track, if I maintain the speed about 100 to 120, the bike gives a mileage about 30 kilometers. And fueling, I use only speed 97. So I would suggest that you actually fill it at once, all 15 liters, because if you keep changing bunks and you keep changing the fuel injector might get clogged or there might be dust in the fuel.
Okay.
So rather just fill it once and just shut it. And city wise, me being an aggressive rider, I travel about 25 kilometers a day to and fro from office. So for about 5 days, that is, I would say around 110 kilometers, I actually need all 15 liters.
Okay.
So that basically in city, the bike gives about 14 or 13, but that's my riding style, because I'm not used to cruising and going slow and stuff. So that's about it. I think if you, for an average person, you would get about 20 in the city and 33 plus. I have had people getting 35, 36. But it all depends on how you control the throttle, how your gear shifts are, at what RPM you change. You actually can't get what the company recommends. That is under standard test conditions.
Okay, do you suggest any changes or modifications to make the bike and the ownership experience better?
Swati, if you are a proper touring guy, I mean, there is no modification that you would need for an R3, because I don't know what Yamaha was thinking when they said the R series, which is famous for its track focused bikes, and they give a proper touring bike for India. I mean, the front suspension is so soft, I can actually be jumping on it like a trampoline. That way it keeps pushing me up and down. So me being a track guy, as an instructor, I have started to make some modifications which are purely track specific. To start off, the front suspension is crap, I mean, for track. I mean, you go on a small stone, the bike keeps going up and down like a pendulum. It keeps going, swinging. There's too much, travel in the suspension. So recently I got Öhlins through one of my friends. It is damn expensive. It cost me about 23,000 just for the springs. So just the inner springs on the front forks, the shock absorbers. So that was about 23. For this bike, if you actually learn to ride the bike well, the tires are good, because I use the same tires at the track. It just depends on your skill level. I mean, for a bike or any other bike, your riding talent matters, right? At the end of the day, the bike isn't going to crash. You are the one who's going to make the bike crash or crash the bike. And regarding the mods, one specific mod that I've actually did it immediately after the second service, that is after I finished 1600, was the engine oil. Yamaha lube oil that Yamaha is giving is just crap. I mean, it's like you buy a 1000cc oil, I mean a 1000cc bike, and you try to run it with petrol and kerosene. You're putting petrol and you want to mix kerosene, and it just messes up the bike. The Yamaha lube exactly does that. I mean, especially at 7000 RPM range, the bike starts to vibrate so much with that oil. You just feel that you're sitting in some kind of a different bike. So the Yamaha, the Motul 300V road racing ester core oil is what I use. It is damn expensive. For 3 cans of Yamaha lube, you will get 1 can of Motul. Alright, so that's basically about 1200 a can. And the only problem with that oil is your service intervals drop by half. Apart from that, modifications, when I ride on the track, I usually lower the clip-ons by half an inch. So that makes the front end more stiff, and there's not much travel. And especially now, because of the Öhlins, though, the front end feel has become damn good. It's not like the spongy stuff that I used before. Regarding the rear suspension, is still soft. They have given us an adjustable one, but no matter how much you adjust, the bike is just going up and down. And the Öhlins suspension rear one, just the stock one, costs 70 grand, so which I don't think I'll be going into. So yeah, but slowly part by part I am modifying the bikes, and the fronts, the front foot pegs, if you see, they are basically made for touring position. You're like just chill out and ride. I am looking at installing rear sets, so that should be coming in a couple of months. And I think 15 years back, when during the Isle of Man TT, there was a good festival of speed. Then I saw Valentino Rossi riding the Yamaha M1 in the 60th anniversary edition colors. I went to Prabhu and I asked him how much is he. Prabhu is the showroom owner. I want to get it painted to yellow and stuff. So I got it. The whole paint job was done by the guys at Bangalore Wheels. Initially, for people who start off like upgrading from a 150 to 300, I would really suggest a change of tires.
Okay.
Because for my riding style, for my skill sets and whatever I've done till now, all the schools I've attended, I am perfectly okay with the Yamaha F tires. But for a person who's brand new to the bike, who's just starting to use, all that whatever 320cc of power that's there, the Yamaha F doesn't provide the grip initially, and it takes a lot of time to heat up as well. So I think the Pirelli Rosso 2s are a very good bet as of now. I think the pair costs about 13 grand or something. And apart from that, I've got BMC race filter.
Okay.
So that's, you get two options in that. One is the stock replacement filter, where you just open the air filter box, remove the stock one and replace the BMC one. The one I've got is a race filter which completely replaces the air filter box. So it's like a twin hole kind of setup. And ECU, I am speaking to the people at Race Dynamics. But to be honest, I am just sure that I am still not using the bike to its potential, rather to get all the engine mods and performance mod done. Until and unless you start to use the bike completely, there's no point of upgrading the bike. And if you're not upgrading yourself, no matter how much you upgrade the bike, you'll always be slow, right?
True.
So yeah, that's about it, I would say, as of now.
Well, Navneet, it's been great to have you here. That was amazing and informative. I'm pretty sure our viewers would love it. I loved it. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me here as well. And I could have gone on talking for about an hour or so, but I know you guys have to go, so even I have to go. So just kept it short as much as possible. Anyway, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
So guys, that's what the Yamaha R3 is all about. We hope you like this video. Please share your comments and questions below. See you in the next video. Bye bye.